What is up, you guys? This is your girl Cantina coming to you today with a brand new video. In today's video, I am showing you my $5 eyebrow routine. Yep, you heard it right, a $5 eyebrow routine. And all you need is 3 products. I'm going to show you what they are. The first product is this brush that you could get from your local Dollar Tree, and that is only $1. Next is this eyebrow concealer in the color Fawn that you can get from your local beauty supply store. This is $2.99. Lastly, the Simmer Brown eyebrow pencil that you can also get from your Dollar Tree. This is $1. So there you have it. That is $5. That's all it takes to get those beautiful eyebrows. So if this sounds like something you're interested in, keep on watching.
Guys, so what you see me doing right now is I'm measuring the distance between how far I want my brows to be. So I always take my pencil and put it up on the left side and the right side, and then I actually start creating an outline around my natural eyebrows. They're very thin, very sparse. You could barely see them, but I personally can see them. So I pretty much create an outline on each brow. So I pretty much do that, and once I do create this outline, I tend to go in and start filling in those brows. So pretty much you could kind of eyeball it. You know, this takes practice. Don't get me wrong. When you don't have anything to do and you have a lot of spare time, you know, just get in the mirror and just start practicing doing your brows. So as you can see, I gave you a quick look. They're both pretty even. And then I just start taking the pencil and filling in, you know, filling in those brows. So I do that on both sides. So I just try to fill it in as much as possible. I mean, if you don't want them as dark, that's why I always go with the brown pencil, which is the center brown color. That pretty much kind of gives you more like a more natural look. So as you can see now, what I'm doing is I'm going back over them to try to create the shape that I want. So what I'm about to do now is grab my concealer. I do use the color concealer Fawn. LA Girl Pro, which is $2.99. Like I said, I always take a little bit, put it on the top of my hand, and then I take my concealer brush, which is generally like an angle brush. I take that, and then I always kind of start below the actual shape that I created, because sometimes I could be a little bit heavy-handed when I am putting on that concealer. So just to make sure that I'm not going over the line that I actually created. So then I start filling in or going as close to that outline that I created to try to clean it up, make everything look nice and neat. So that's what I'm doing right now. So I generally will do that on both sides, and then I do the same thing on the top. And what I notice a lot of people do sometimes, if you want to kind of have that more natural look, again, you want to make sure you do get concealer as close to your actual skin color as possible. I notice a lot of people will do like a lighter color under the bottom and then try to do a color that's more close to their skin color to kind of give themselves that more natural look when it comes to their brows. I mean, it's up to you. Again, this is how I do my brows. I mean, you can kind of tweak it or switch it up to make it a little bit more suitable for you. This is just to kind of give you an idea. And then for you girls that do have those thick, nice, full brows, once you do get your eyebrows tweezed or even plucked, you can pretty much do this same technique. You'll just, if they're kind of sparse or not as thick, you'll just take the eyebrow pencil and just fill in those sparse areas and pretty much do the same technique, taking the concealer, going underneath, which will create that clean look, give you that shape that you want. And again, you'll do that at the top and you'll do that at the bottom. And like I said, I always try to start out with the concealer a little bit higher, so that way, and I just work my way down. So I pretty much just go over each eyebrow, do the same steps for each one. I mean, don't be alarmed. It looks kind of weird right now, but once you pretty much get everything shaped, and you'll just start blending. You want to blend. That's the key. So it looks a little weird right now, but you do have to spend a lot of time blending. And, you know, don't be concerned if you make a mistake, or let's say if you pretty much don't create the shape the way you want it. A lot of times, depending on the type of brows that you have, You can always use that concealer to go back in and fix any type of correction, so do keep that in mind. I mean, I make mistakes all the time. Sometimes the shape is not coming out right, or I mean, you know, we have our off days, so sometimes, I mean, I could do my brows like in 3 minutes. Sometimes I could do them in 5. Sometimes it might take me about 15 minutes, depends. So sometimes, but most of the time I pretty much get it the first time around. I mean, as long as I'm not rushing. And as you see me now, I'm remeasuring it, because you want to make sure that that distance is, I don't want to say perfect, but you got a good distance, because you don't want to pretty much look like an angry bird with, you know, both of your brows seeming as if they're connecting. So you want to make sure you go back and measure. And then what I'm doing now, I'm just taking my finger and I'm just kind of go ahead and blend in. And the reason I take that extra concealer and bring it all the way down to my eyelid, I'm just adding a little bit more concealer because I'm going to be applying my makeup today. So I use the concealer also as a base, so when I do apply my eyeshadow, actually in this look I didn't even put on eyeshadow today, but again, it's a way to kind of add that extra layer to kind of brighten up your eyes, to give you that look that you want. So right now I'm just gonna go ahead and just add a little bit more concealer. It looks like I messed up a little bit, so what I'm doing now is going back over that and try to correct it, because you want to try to make sure that arch, you know, it's kind of, now I don't want to say perfect, but sometimes you might have to just go back over just to make sure. You want to make sure. And then always remember, also I should have showed you guys, but sometimes you could take that pencil and also put it at the corner of your eye. And sometimes you want to try to make sure your brows, you don't want to drag the eyebrow line all the way down to the outer corner of your eye. That's too far down. So you want to try to make your brows look as natural as possible. So what you see me doing now, I got my beauty blender, my makeup blender. So I always tend to blend the front part of the brows to kind of create that shaded effect. So the eyebrows can look natural. They don't look like they're drawn on, or you don't want to have that, you know how you see people when they first get their eyebrows done, they have those sharp corners. So you don't want those sharp corners. You want to blend those in, so that way you have that natural effect. So I mean, that's something I do. I know there's a lot of other techniques that are out there. I have not mastered them. Again, I'm not a professional makeup artist. These are just things that I learned to do myself, to make myself look good. And I mean, sometimes trust me, like I said, I'm not a makeup artist. Sometimes when I do my makeup, sometimes depends on what I'm feeling, depends on what I'm wearing. I mean, sometimes I go big, sometimes I go small. You know, of course, I want to try to keep them to a minimum, but I pretty much try to draw my eyebrows or shape them, you know, in a way that fits me, so fits my facial features. So that's what you'll want to do. I mean, if you like your brows a little bit more thinner, and then again, you'll just draw that outline a little bit more smaller. So it's the same concept. I mean, you can even just draw a line and then just shape around that line. Draw the concealer around that line. So, I mean, it's pretty simple, but these are the few steps that I use to create my eyebrows. And if you guys want a full makeup tutorial on how I just do my basic makeup, I mean, I don't use a whole lot of products, but again, like I said, I'm not a makeup artist, but as you can see, they look like they came out pretty good. What do you guys think?